Oh, yeah. He was always interested in airplanes. He built a lot of model airplanes, because boys did at that time. And he's brilliant. Even back then he was. He would go to the library and get a book if he's interested in the subject. He made this cannon, and I don't know where he got the cannonball, but he made his own powder, his own powder to use on the cannon.
And how old was he?
Oh gosh, he would have been 12 maybe.
And
11,
he knew
12.
how to make gunpowder for a cannon?
Oh, he probably got the book and figured that out too. He could figure it out. And guns were always in the house. Guns were always around. And then he also got another book, and he made a plane. I'm not talking a little plane. I'm talking a glider, where it had the hand, you could sit in it. Bob, like I said, was a great teaser. And when I would have friends that came over, he would find a little garden snake and chase them around. So I learned real early never to let him know if I was afraid of something, because he would have made my life miserable. The one time he got into big, big trouble with Mom and Dad was he had, I can't remember if it was the BB gun or the pellet gun. And I was sitting outside, and I don't remember what prompted it or what came up to it, but he points the gun right at me. And that was a big no-no. He even told me, he said, the gun's empty, but I'll pull the trigger if you don't flinch. And I didn't do it, and he did pull the trigger. Well, what he didn't count on was the air that comes out of that is so strong. Well, my lip just swelled up like that. There was no hiding it. And he got in big trouble for that. It even became more and more evident is that his actions, it never occurred, it's almost like it doesn't occur to him that it hurts somebody else, and if it does, it doesn't matter. It's okay, sometimes he'd even justify, and it's always somebody else's fault, by the way, it's never his. I think he was looking for the structure that the military could give him. And he might have also seen that he could climb this ladder and of success in the military if he did it, played his cards the way he thought was right. And then, of course, like you said, he loved guns, he loved explosives, he loved all of that stuff. He had been up there. Up there, when I say up there, their home in Valley Springs.
Right.
I know at one point, he had told Dad not to tell anyone he was there.
Tell me about that.
His dad had told Mom, and Mom kind of related to me that, and that's when I kind of thought, something's strange now. Why isn't what's happening with this? And he had said that not for them not to tell anyone that he had been there. The most interesting one at that time was when the FBI agent came to my door. What he asked me was, did I know where Bob was Thanksgiving Day 1971? I said, I really don't. Why? And he told me, did I know about D.B. Cooper? So that was the first reference to Bob and D.B. Cooper that I had heard. He told me he read a letter Bob had sent to the Army after he had been discharged, and it was an angry letter. And he tends to lash out when he's angry. He called me at work.
From jail?
Yeah. When he called, and I hear this voice, and I was not expecting him to call at all. I almost hung up right away, and he must have known it, because he goes, don't hang up, Linda, don't hang up. He goes, I didn't do it. He goes, honest. And he goes, please don't hang up on me. So I didn't. I bought him 2 suits so that he had looked decent in court. He had lost weight and didn't have a lot of clothes. Here's my extremely intelligent brother, and I'm thinking, you really did something dumb to get caught. And he said, you get tired of running.
Really?
Yeah. It's the first time I'd ever heard him say anything like that.
Is there any reason that Bob should not remember Uncle Ed?
Oh, no. Unless he's become very senile.
So if Bob denies ever hearing of Uncle Ed...
Ed Cooper. I don't know why he would.
There are two very venerable journalists, Pete Noyes, Don Ray. During the second trial, they get a call from your brother Bob in jail claiming to be D.B. Cooper.
Oh, really? Yeah, she came out and said, I'm D.B. Cooper. D.B. Cooper calling.
It's priceless. And Pete Noyes, in his manner that I've witnessed many times, barked, "Prove it."
Like it is there.
Exactly.
Oh, cool.
So Bob said, well, my uncle, his name is Ed Cooper. That's where I took my name from. And he lives in Phoenix. And he's a parachutist. Does that sound plausible to you?
Oh, absolutely. I thought he was paroled here in California, but I've learned that it was in Ohio. He didn't really try to get a hold of me, and quite honestly, at that point in time, I was kind of fed up with all his lies, his deceit, the fact that he ran out on his bail and ran out on the people who had put up his bail, and once again, you know, causing pain and destruction in his path. And I had finally decided that I couldn't have him in my life because I knew how to use people. He could use me. It got to the point for me when he would talk and I would know that a lot of what he said was not true. It was like fingernails on a blackboard to listen to him lying. And I can't take it anymore.
So I started to put two and two together and think, you know what? I think I do see a motive. I see the potential of a motive.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, you gave me all these skills,
Right.
You threw me into the street, I'm going to show you what I can do
Yep.
with those skills.
Yeah, I'm angry and I'm going to get back at you. That way he could also say, you know, you did it. You gave me the skills. You did all the training. You made me into what I am. I made D.B. Cooper into what he is. You know, he would have planned this out and done it just out of anger at the, you know, military and everyone around him. But I think there's a strong, very strong possibility he's D.B. Cooper.
Would you like to take this opportunity right now
To communicate with him?
to say something to him?
You know, what would I say? Are you D.B. Cooper? Confess or say no? I don't think we have anything to talk about.
Are there any emotions or feelings you want to share with him?
Over the years, you know, when I decided I needed to break it off with him, there was many times I almost picked up the phone and called him, you know, called the girls to find out how I could get a hold of him to say, listen, we're the only two left in our family. We need to be brother and sister. But I always came back to, I can't do that because I can't allow him back into my life. I just don't know. And I had my daughter to think about too. You know, he uses everybody. He would have used her. He would have used my friends. He would have used, you know, her friends. You know, he just has a way of worming himself into people's lives. And I just couldn't allow that to happen. I wish I could have, but I couldn't. The one thing I think I would tell him, you know, you never faced up, you never took responsibility for your actions. You need to take responsibility for your actions. In the old days with Bob too, either you were on his side or you were against him. So if he still has that attitude, I'm going to be against him.